Hey there, folks. Welcome back once again. Patrick here with me. This week, we have another great video for you all about our top tips for selling a luxury home. Before we launch into this week's video though, if you live in the Pacific Northwest, you love houses, you love talking about houses, hit that subscribe button down below because we're going to be posting great videos just like this every single week. Selling a house, not every situation is going to be the same. In fact, it's always going to be a pretty unique experience selling a home. Take a pretty unique approach every single time. But with the luxury market, it's even more nuanced. And so today, if you're someone who owns a luxury home or you've thought about buying one, or who knows, we're going to tell you a little bit about our approach with selling luxury properties so that you can really get the most money out of it and really get the most mileage bang for your buck. All right, so let's just dive right into it. First thing I want to talk about is pricing. In the market that we're in right now, you really can't price too low in most cases. Value is likely to get driven up because there's so many buyers out there who are looking in the, first or second home buyer market. With luxury homes though, it's not so much the case. You really do want to be right on the money with your pricing. The reason I say that is that you could price too low and then you might end up not getting enough offers to drive it up to that price that it really should be at. And then contrastingly, if you price too high, you might just find yourself sitting on the market for a really long time and then not selling, or maybe somebody throws a bunch of lowball offers at you. With luxury homes, usually they're very unique properties. Usually they're built with one person's interests in mind. And so there's not always a universal appeal, which means that, sometimes these homes sit on the market a little bit longer. That's not something to be worried about. Really just, you don't want to be sitting on the market because your pricing is bad. That's tip one is, work with an agent who's going to have a context for pricing for your home to make sure that you are netting the most money. All right, Patrick, do you want to take the next one?
Next, we'll talk about photography. And what is important about that is it gives an accurate view for folks who are looking online or at print materials to really see the home as it is. And it gives an opportunity, if we use the right photographer, to highlight some of the key areas that we really want to showcase for your home. We'll often also use Matterport, which creates sort of a 3D tour of the home and allows folks online to sort of click through and view all areas of the home, which is really nice. Folks will often want to do that before they come and tour in person. We'll also sometimes use drone photography if we want to highlight your neighborhood or features of the home externally or the landscaping. Drone photography is a really great way to do that.
And to that point even, when you're looking at this market, because there is a smaller buyer pool that would potentially be local, the more we can really boost imagery of the property and highlight its features online, the more likelihood that we'll have that a buyer out of state, maybe out of the country entirely, is going to get eyes on it and say, man, I want to move to Portland and I want that house. So yeah, drone, videography, photography, Matterport are all super crucial as part of the building blocks for making sure that we get luxury homes sold. So the next one we'll talk about is staging. Generally speaking, we recommend that every property that we list get staged. And the reason we do that with most properties is we kind of want to make sure that we're showing the home in its best case, and that if there are any minute defects around the property, that they can be kind of overlooked by a beautifully staged home. So, the benefit of that to you is we not only are, painting a pretty picture of the home, we're showing it in its best possible light, which for luxury homes, that's what you want to do. You want people to have a vision of opulence, of, man, this could be my life. And you want to make sure that, you're kind of covering up any sort of lesser appealing elements. And most of all, you really want to make sure that you're creating a buzz around the property. And so the way that people generally are looking at homes online, they swipe through. It's like dating culture, like Tinder. You're just going and going and going. And then you see one place and it's got just the best furniture in it and you just have to go see it. So in cases like that, the more bodies that we get qualified buyer bodies that we get through the door, the better it is for you. So that's a great option, as well as staging.
Nice thing about staging is that it creates purpose for a room and gives folks an opportunity to really see themselves living in the home. Another thing that we'll often do is to pitch your property to a local real estate magazine or print publication. And that's another opportunity to really get your home out in front of folks who are looking for unique properties. Gives another opportunity for your photos to be out there, and generates even more buzz than our typical social media and collateral might do. You know, it takes some extra work to really make that pitch and to get the buy-in from that magazine or that newspaper, and it really pays off in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, one of the really great things about, pitching the property, we don't do it with every property, that's for sure. But anytime that there's a really unique property that's out there that we have the opportunity to list, it's a lot more likely that we'll be able to get a magazine to buy into something like that. But what it does is, it not only helps to boost visibility, but it also helps to elevate that property to an even higher level. It's like, wow, that house was featured in that magazine. They had a write-up about that house, and then people are like, well, now I want that house because it was written up, So that's another really amazing strategy that we take with properties like this. All right, so the last one we're going to talk about is actually a pretty interesting one that, doesn't happen every single time, but it is something that will come up in cases where a property is, really a very unique one where we don't want to necessarily boost it around. It kind of goes in the opposite direction of everything we've talked about, but it's also a very viable strategy that we employ regularly. And that is selling it off market. The way that we typically will approach something like this is, we have a wide network of agents, both locally and globally, that we network with regularly who are looking for unique value propositions. So pitching a property to someone who regularly sells in a neighborhood or regularly sells in a certain price point, that's something that we'll do on your behalf. And we found that, that way you're not dealing with the upset of having to deal with, the listing process, the marketing you don't really deal with it, but it's just a cleaner deal in a lot of cases. We'll still put out photos, we'll still get it kind of gussied up and prettied up for whoever it is that's coming to look at it. But, this way it's more of a one and done situation, or maybe, maybe we have several agents who will have buyers who could be interested in something like that. So that is another great strategy that we take, and, we see it work often very well in this market. So yeah, so those are our strategies. If you have any questions, if you are interested in luxury properties, or if you're just interested in regular homes, or who knows, regular homes, like other homes are not as good. All homes are lovely. Not all homes. Some homes are terrible, but most homes are great. So those are our tips. If you have any questions, maybe you have a home like this, maybe you're interested in finding an off-market opportunity for a luxury home and you just don't know where to look, feel free to reach out to us. We're always happy to chat. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. It was great to see you, and we will see you next week for another great video. All right, have a great day.